Page 80, Over the Waves. We have a piece where we get to use the pedal. Oh, goody. Talk about a pedal in a minute, okay? Let's talk about some other things first. Let's start with the right hand. Right at the beginning, using your thumb to play the E. Now this thing is in C major, so the only sharps and flats you have are what they add in the piece, okay? Otherwise, we're playing white notes here. C major. In the second measure, immediately, you cross over the thumb to get the D sharp. And then the E is with the thumb again, so it's just one note, right? That's very common in piano, so it hopefully won't be a problem. However, the third quarter note in that measure is also with the second finger, and your second finger is over the F. So you gotta make sure you get your second finger up there. We're using second finger because it puts us in position for the C. Then in the last measure of the first line, you're holding the C down, you played it with the little finger, and now they want you to play the B with your third finger. And you connect them. No break in the sound, you connect them. Right? Because in the next line you have a D. So just follow the fingering they've got there carefully and work it out very carefully and you'll be fine. I don't really want to have to point it all out. That little bit should tell you, you got to look at this fingering. You can't assume anything. Then over on page 81, it's the third line down. You're starting out with the half note, or the dotted half note A. Right? Then the next measure, look, you have a 2 on the D, a 3 on the F, and they're telling you that third note is an A. Memorize it. Know the first ledger line above the treble clef is an A. Just know that, okay? Just so you have that ready. Then in the last line on page 81 for the right hand, your thumb on the D, and you're crossing over your thumb and put your third finger on the C. And the left hand, you have chords, right? The 5-7 chord, instead of the B, they're using a D. It's still a 5-7 chord. So if you have a guitar player, they're giving you the chord names for each of these up at the top. The C, the G7, which is whatever, and the F, the 4 chord over on page 81. They can play along too. Now, let's talk the pedal. Again, I'm picky on the pedal. There's not a lot of sense, sound-wise, to have the pedal down and play staccato. So my guess is they did it staccato because they want you to use that technique while playing. Otherwise, they put in staccato because you could play this whole thing without pedal. Take a look at the first line on page 80. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to push the pedal down with the note in the right hand, the first beat of the measure. All right, so we have a 1, and the pedal goes down immediately. Then we play the 2 chords in the left hand. And then when we play the first beat of the next measure, we lift the pedal right there. You get the idea? So the pedal is more or less following the right hand because the left hand's playing those staccato things. It's messing it up. Take a look on the second line, the last 2 measures. You have the B, so the pedal's going down right after you play the right hand B, and it's going to stay down until beat 2 of the next measure. So I go 1, 2, 3, 1, off. I lift the pedal and the right hand B up at the same time. The left hand played a staccato, so it's already done. But the pedal and the right hand have to stay down. Now the first 2 measures of that second line is a little different. We're going to push the pedal down right after the first beat. We're going to play the second beat, and you're going to lift the pedal on the third beat. So those 2 measures is that. Takes a little practice coordinating the pedal and the hands and all that. And the last 2 measures on page 81, the last 2 measures of the piece, the pedal goes down right after I play the notes. Stays down 3 on the last measure, then the hands and the pedal all come up at the same time. Okay? So it's this way. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, off. Now, I think there is a mistake in the music. Happens sometimes. I'm not going to tell them about it. You can tell them about it. But if you look on page 81, the first measure, this line on page 81, the top first line, is identical to the first line on page 80. Okay? Everything's the same. But if you look at the pedal indication, it's not the same. They're telling you to put the pedal down on beat 2. I think that's an error. There's no reason for it to go down on beat 2. And when I look at the rest of the piece, nothing else has done that. So I suggest you take a pencil or something and draw that pedal marking over and put it under beat 1 also. So pedal the first line on page 81 exactly the same as you pedal the first line on page 80. There could be a difference of opinion on this piece on how it's pedaled. This is one of the problems with these books. They use the pedal indications and they're not exact on when the lines go up and down, and this book is not exact. Line 2 on page 80 could be pedaled 2 different ways according to the markings they've got. I can't tell for sure how they want it. So we'll just go on sound, all right? It says it goes down on beat 1 and up on beat 2, but beat 2 doesn't end until beat 3. So that means it comes up on beat 3, so you'd put it down after you play, this is the first measure, the second line, page 80, right? You play here, and then lift it up with the left hand on the third beat. Because you're lifting it up with the left hand, and the left hand's a full beat, right? Another way of interpreting it is you lift it up on beat 2. So you're only pedaling for 1 beat. Two different ways of pedaling it. You experiment and decide which you like better, and that's what you use, okay? Or if you have a teacher, you do what your teacher tells you to do. No. I'm going to go ahead and hold it down to the end of beat 2. So I'm going to lift it up on beat 3, and we'll see how that goes. Actually, I could do it both ways. The stuff on page 80, I could hold it down till beat 3, right? And then on 81, page on 81, which is very similar to 80, I can lift it up on beat 2. And let's try that and see what happens. So you can decide what you like better or whatever. Whatever, I don't know. On page 80, the third line, the last measure, in the right hand, you're holding the B down from the measure before. You played it with a little finger. Now they want you to play the A sharp with the third finger, okay? So you got to reach your third finger over there, because you need to do the B after that with the fourth finger, so you're ready for what's coming. All right, right hand, left hand, foot's on the pedal. 1, ready, go. Rest. 3, off.